This is nerve-wracking. Here's why. I switched microphones around, and all of a sudden, I don't know who's who. I played microphone tag, but we won. So that's a good thing. We have some great people in studio with me. Like I told you guys just a few short minutes ago, a 9-pin bowling fundraiser benefiting Backstoppers with Eddie Macy and Becca Macy. It's going to be a great event, first off. And thank you for coming. This is on the 19th of November, right?
Yes.
Awesome. And another thing that I wanted to ask you right off the bat is where is it, when is it, and how can we get out there and really help a great organization?
It's going to be at Bullhaven in Alton. It's 3003 Washington Avenue.
Mm-hmm. And I got to ask you, first of all, Bullhaven is like a landmark now. You know, there's not a lot of bowling alleys left.
No.
And it's one of those. Now, is Bullhaven one of the only bowling alleys left in the, or is there one more?
There's one in Bethalto.
Is there?
Yeah.
But in the Alton area, that's kind of it. But they have great food anyway.
Good food. Good people, too. So
That's right. And this is a great opportunity to go out and enjoy some company, have a great time bowling, and then just raise some funds for a pretty good organization and Backstoppers. Now, right off the bat, let me ask you, because you know how people are. I'll just be the one to take the bullet on this one. Don't block me, Mark. I was just trying to make a point here on Facebook. And that's this. There's not going to be a prize raffle, I wouldn't assume, right?
right.
That's the way it should be.
No money. We will be raffling off baskets, or maybe a silent auction or something like that. But there's not going to be no money involved.
I don't blame you. I like this. It's a great way to kind of, nothing to really stress about either. You can just go knowing you're supporting a great cause, and it's a really neat thing. How did you guys kind of come up with this idea? Who reached out, or did you reach out to somebody and get this process started?
Well, a year ago, we lost a good friend of ours in the line of duty. And then a few months later, my brother lost his fire chief. There's just so many police officers and firemen out there that need our support. And Backstoppers, I did my research, and they're always there, no matter what.
Without a doubt. And speaking, my brother, I don't know if I told you guys, this brother's a firefighter and, from war veteran coming back, and, kind of being, in that little neighborhood, with the firefighter families and stuff. And you see, how hard, not just the firefighter, that person, the police officer's working, but their families working 10 times harder trying to keep everything in line while they're doing, crazy shifts that are 12 hours and sometimes 2 and 3 days long. If you're a firefighter, sleeping a couple hours and going back out and doing this. And to me, it's kind of incredible. So you guys, did you just reach out to Backstoppers one morning, or how'd that go about?
I reached out to Backstoppers and asked them what we had to do a fundraiser, and filled out their application, and they let me know within an hour that I was approved. And
wow. That's impressive.
Go.
That's impressive. I once got, Finger Hut. You guys know that website where you can build your credit. I sent them in an application. An hour later, I got rejected. So, I mean, you're off to a better start than I. But this is great. So take us through this tournament. What's it going to entail? How many games do you get with the tournament or the fundraiser, the 9-pin fundraiser?
It's 3 games.
Okay, right on. I see. I'm not a bowling aficionado. I came in. I was the jerk that had the little, the guards up, and I'm 20 years old while all the kids are bowling better than me. But this is really neat. So once again, what's that date again? The 19th, correct?
November 19th. I've reserved the bowling alley from 5 to 11. I'm hoping to have a big enough support system to where I have 2 different time slots. That way more people can attend and help out the fundraiser.
Absolutely. And how much is it to bowl that day?
Well, if you call the bowling alley at 618-465-2695 and prepay, it is $25.
Nice.
If you pay the day of the fundraiser, it's $35.
That's still very affordable. I mean, that is a really nice way, especially with, the holiday season coming up, and, turkey's now $3,000 if you want to, do one of those in the oven or whatever. And I mean, but seriously, $25 or 35 day of, that's a really good good price point. And then you get 3 games of bowling, so that's less than $10 a game if you get there early or you sign up early.
Right.
But I got to ask you, this is a bowling thing, and this is competitive sometimes. People get, into it, even though we aren't competing for money this time around. But I got to ask you, I'm going to put you on the spot, 60 minutes. All of this and more right after this. That was for all the older audience, But I wanted to ask you, who's the better bowler? Wow! Right off the bat, there you go. Now I got to ask you, did you get into bowling? Were you into bowling before you guys married, or was this something that was an acquired taste?
I grew up in the bowling alley.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. He didn't bowl until we first got together, and he bowls better than I do.
Oh, I don't know. Are you sure? Is she right about that? Are you getting better scores here?
Well, I'm better than her, but I'm not very good.
What's your? That's what's so interesting about this. We'll get back to the tournament here in a couple of seconds, but I think it's great because whenever the show's about experiencing everything, all sports, all types of events, and this is something that's really unique. We always see the golf tournament, right? Very rarely do we see a really cool bowling event that's really geared towards something just like Backstoppers or some type of entity. Has the bowling alley been pretty receptive over this tournament? Have they been pretty helpful with that too?
Oh yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
Bullhaven's just like family to us. So,
Is it?
Yeah.
And by the way, I really meant that about their food. They have one of the best kitchens in the area as far as I'm concerned. And the machines are pretty loose, too. You could win some money on those bad boys. That's my cheap plug. But let's get back to this. So now, is it just a single entry? Is there no teams or anything like that? It's just one per person?
Just one per person.
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing like scotch doubles or couples or anything like that. It's just a single.
Awesome. And now something like this is interesting. I've never talked to somebody doing a bowling event before, but I got to ask you, what's the turnaround or prep time for that? I mean, that seems like it's still going to take some work, couple months maybe to get all this together.
I've been working on it for the last, 2.5 months.
Wow. So I got to ask you, has that made things a little stressful? Because I've been a part of some of these events, and man, it's like I can handle everything until an event gets close to the deadline.
She gets stressful. Everything stresses her out.
That's fantastic. But that was a look that meant I'll see you in the car.
Right.
No, that's great. So there's so much stuff going on. It's just what I like is it's just a straight bowling event. You might have a basket raffle, you said.
Yeah.
But it's all about just the community and that atmosphere. I got to ask you, you kind of lead it on with it a little bit. Talk to us about that community that Bullhaven has, because it really is something incredible. It seems like everybody knows each other's names for the most part. Everybody knows a little bit about somebody there, and just kind of a really neat thing. Talk to us about that. What's that kind of like?
It's almost kind of like Cheers. You walk in and everybody does know your name, and it's just real family oriented.
Mm-hmm. What do you got to think about Bullhaven?
Oh, I love it out there.
Good people and everything, a great
good
atmosphere.
So, yeah. My brother-in-law even works out there.
Does he really?
Yeah.
And your sister-in-law.
And my sister-in-law. So.
Oh, that could make it interesting.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, and another thing is, if this goes well, have you guys gotten some pretty good response so far?
We are looking for some more donations.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to do a silent auction.
Right.
Everything seems to be going pretty smooth, though.
That's great. Now, my question really leading into this is, if it goes well this time around, are you guys going to look to do more of these type of events?
That's what we had discussed before. If we do a really good turnout and we do raise a bunch of money for Backstoppers, we kind of want to do it every year.
Oh, now that would be really cool. That would be really cool. See, I would go, but I would really embarrass myself,
But see, that's what this night's all about. You come out, you have fun, and who cares how you bowl? You can bowl 50. Nobody cares.
That was my next question, because there's a lot of people out there that, we aren't very skilled. We did the thing in high school where we got to go for a couple of tours, down to the bowling alley, and, well, not good. And I even got a little picture on the wall that said, amateur, don't let them in, But this is great, not to joke about this, but this is really great because no one has to feel pressured about performing well. It's just going to support a really cool place.
Right.
And I got to ask you, you talked about, why you're doing this. And I'm never going to ask personals, but has that always been, a passion of yours is the law enforcement, even before your friend, and before some of the things you mentioned, has law enforcement always been, kind of part of your guys' lives or something you hold dear to you?
It has mine.
Mm-hmm.
Mine too. I mean, I've known a lot of people throughout the years,
Right.
so.
Right. And that's, that's kind of where I was leading to this, because it's kind of cool, because so many times we see, businesses and, that was my phone telling me, hey, Backstoppers bowling tournament's going to be here in a couple of minutes. But, we see businesses, we see insurance agents, we see all these people that we'd expect to throw on events. But it's so often I'm like, when is somebody that's just like me, or, a married couple? I've even said that, to John Hintrick up there. He said, when's a married couple going to put something on together? Or when's a normal person like me? And then all of a sudden I look and there it is. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go gamble today. I think that's it's in my cards today. Right. But I got to ask you, it's got to be exciting at the same time. Now, this is the first time you guys have done something like this.
Yes.
I got to ask you, has it been a learning experience?
Yep. Learn as you go. So.
And that's
definitely.
Well, and too, if you guys disagree on something, it's hard to kind of, leave it at the office, I guess.
That's the thing. We don't ever disagree, though.
Really? Literally. This has been great. And once again, let's get through the details all again. I want to make sure we do this justice, because, so many times, we always look for answers to why things are the way they are. Well, let's talk about why the things haven't gotten any worse. And that's because we have great first responders, and we have people like that in our police force and our fire departments that take care of us, to where we don't even know about half the stuff that goes on in this town. So when's the event? What are the details of that? Let's get that all cemented.
It's November 19th from 5 to 11. If you pay before November 19th, the cost will be $25. You pay the day of, it's $35, with all the proceeds going to Backstoppers.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be at Bullhaven, again at 3003 Washington Avenue in Alton.
Wow. And too, I always tell people this, there's certain businesses that are just landmarks that everyone knows. They'll give directions like, oh, right past Bullhaven or the White Castle or Max, or that's my go-to line, even though we're in the old bank building. I go, oh yeah, we're right across from Cat Daddy's and Max. But it's got to be something neat. That's what makes this neat to me, is so many times, we always drive by Bullhaven. Some of us haven't gone in and seen the new kitchen because, it's been a while. And I love what they've been doing. It's a great layout. It's a great atmosphere. Everyone that's in there always seems to enjoy one another. There's no fighting or anything like that. Well, not from the game anyway. I don't know. I don't know how tournaments go or leagues go, but I could see that get a little competitive.
It is a little.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay, now hold on. I got to keep you another minute. I got to ask you, what's one of your bowling stories of that you'll never forget? It doesn't have to be an argument, but maybe something wacky, something funny that happened on those lanes.
When my cousin fell.
Who fell?
My cousin Mark.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Oh my goodness. And well, there you go. See, my claim to fame is when I took my 7-year-old, cousin over to bowl a couple of years ago, and I got beat.
Wow.
Yeah, and I had bumpers too. Do you know what that does to a man, guys? Once again, on the 19th of November from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. You have a chance to go out, play a part of a 9-pin bowling fundraiser that all the proceeds, not just some, all of them go to Backstoppers. And Eddie Meese, Becca Meese has been with us to talk about it. And anything else I'm leaving off that you want to get on?
Also, if you have something going on that evening, you can donate. You can still donate anything,
Awesome. And how can they reach out to you guys to get some of these donations if they're interested?
My phone number is 618-540-9752.
That's 540-9752. I can write somewhat fast sometimes. But I do want to make sure that we do reiterate that. And if you guys want to donate or be a part of this event, even shoot us a message and I'll forward it over to you too. And we'll do what we can. But this is a really great thing. So you guys don't have to be in person. You can still support this. And please do, so I can have you guys back in a couple of months and we can all do this over again talking about this event.
Right.
Anything else that I'm missing out?
Nope. Should do it.
Awesome. Well, guys... Nothing?
No, I just
Oh.
wanted to make sure that people understood, like, get the word out there about Backstoppers and what they actually do.
Exactly.
Because it surprised me how many people didn't know who Backstoppers was and what they do.
And that's a good point too, because because it wasn't this event, but there's been so many times that I'll talk about a fallen officer and Backstoppers help, and it's I didn't know they did that, and it's like, to me it's an eye opener, because you think that you just hear the name and you know it, but some people don't. And guys, please do, if you can, share the post. There's a page for the event on Facebook. You can share that and come out to the event on the 19th of November from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. 540-9752 is that number to text or call. Call
I would
it,
text it first.
Text it. Good point. And that way you can help support that, or you can reach out to us over here at The Daily Show or RiverBender.com, and we will put you in contact and make sure we raise some good funds for some great people that really deserve it.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Becca, Eddie, thank you so much for your time. We're going to take a quick break. Our Wednesday morning keeps rolling on right after this in the heart of the Riverbend in downtown Alton.